Cue the music. I have a plan, but first I wanted to get that broken door out of the way. It was time for it to go. I wanted the daylight in the space and to see what it would look like when it was opened up. So it was jammed in there, so I couldn't pull it out the proper way until I got some of the broken parts out of the way. One of my sponsors for this series is Total Boat, and I'll be talking more about them as well as my other sponsors throughout the series. But what's special about Total Boat is that they make, besides the epoxy and stuff that everybody knows, all of their products were made with boats in mind. So they have to be durable as heck to handle the ocean and the sun and everything, but they also have to be eco-friendly to be, you know, out in the ocean. So needless to say, I'm a fan. There's a lot of great products they have that I'm going to be using in this truck. And the first one I used was their boat soap to clean it out because it's biodegradable and it's designed to go right into the ocean, so I figured it'd be pretty safe soap to use and have it wash out into my driveway. In last week's episode, I left off with straightening out the roof. This week, I went to the box store and I picked up some 2x2s and I just simply notched them and cut them to length and shoved them into the ceiling alongside the existing aluminum structure that's there. I'll eventually tie them in, but right now they're just sitting there. I also spent some time with some painter's tape and a ruler, just sort of finalizing my interior plan designs. I bought a winch to help me lift and close the tailgate once it's in, and I installed the winch on the top of the truck. I used Total Boat Thixo to weather seal my work. It's a two-part silicone type sealant that dries really durable and it's very, very good. I mean, it's designed to keep boats floating, right? One of the two bolts holding the winch to the truck is in a well-reinforced part of the roof, but the other one is not, so I may need to add some more reinforcement underside and disperse that tension. I don't have the power lines run to it yet, but I pulled my other car up and ran a set of jumper cables to it just to make sure it worked. It's pouring today, and I was concerned that yesterday I had drilled a hole in the roof and mounted this winch. I used Total Boat Thixo when I sealed it all up, and I wasn't sure if it would have enough time to seal and dry properly. Plus I have the door ripped out in this tarp. So I was a little worried about that, but it turns out to be all fine back there. Bone dry up here, and in this hole that I siliconed up. I bought a proper grommet, but I don't think I need it because my silicone held. There's no water on the floor. There's no water in any of my damage repair. It's all nice and dry back here, which is great. But something up here is leaking. This floor is soaking wet, and this cup holder is full of water. Found it. Coming out of that hole, dripping onto this sun visor, dripping down the dashboard into that cup. Pretty easy fix, but I gotta wait for it to stop raining. So it's just triage right now. I hired a student named Marley to come in and help me film a few hours a week. She's into filmmaking, and so all of the B-roll in this week's episode was shot by Marley, as well as some of these walking shots. So thanks, Marley. You think it's recording?
It is,
okay,
yes.
Do you see numbers counting on the top of the screen there? 5, 6, 7. I've been working hard on this truck, got it stripped down, but the hardest part of this has been trying to figure out how I'm going to set it all up inside, and I think I've finally settled on a plan. Come on in. I've been messing around with some blue tape and some tape measures, and I've got a layout that I think is going to work. We'll start over on this side here. You can see this boxed in area. This is about 8 feet long by about 2 feet wide. This entire section is going to be a bench that you can sit on and try out guitars. But it'll also double the storage, of course. So you'll be able to open it up, and I'll be able to store full guitars in cases if I need to. I'll have some storage space up here for some of the parts to make the stage work and other truck tools and whatnot, and just anything I don't want to be seen. On this side, I want to build a corner cabinet right here. It's going to have the option of having shelves to store smaller items or removing the shelves so I can store full guitar cases in there. It'll come up about 5 feet high, and then up here will be open storage for some display items, like maybe like things that are for sale or whatever. And I might even carry that shelf along a little higher to have more things visible than on display. I've been talking to some people about getting some other cool stuff in this truck besides the guitars that I make. Right here, I'm going to have a typical sort of sideways storage guitar rack so I can fit 6 or 8 guitars all lined up on their side. And I'm going to come up with some clever way to keep them all in place while I'm driving so I don't have to put them away when I'm done. And then over here, I'm going to build a workbench. So this will be a basic desktop table. They'll have a drawer with a bunch of tools in it. And this will be where I can do guitar tune-ups, restrings, stuff like that. Or it can double as a sound editing mixing board if you're using this truck for recording or you're playing a performance off the stage. Just a basic work area. Underneath it, I'll have some storage. And I'm thinking about making some of the drawers actually be guitar cases that can slide out so you can pull guitars in and out. Part of the hidden secrets that'll be here is some sort of power inverter, so I can have some electricity here, plug into the grid, maybe run up to some solar panels on the ceiling in the future. But speaking of the ceiling, we are going to fill this all in. It's going to be insulated, all the walls as well, and we're going to put LED lights, and we're going to have speakers and everything. It's going to be awesome.
That was cool.
I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this tailgate situation here. So one thing I want to do is I want to make sure it seams up tight along the truck so it doesn't rattle and it's weather tight. And then if I weld a seam of angle iron around it, when it comes closed, I can have it go flush right up against. But then we also need to figure out how to hinge it down here. I might be able to do something like this too. This is actually a very clever setup. It's a simple pin latch. If you undo the screw here, the whole thing will slide right off. I want to talk a little bit about the space up here. Oh, now you're getting the hang of it. You're still rolling, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's all this open space. I don't know if you can see this with the camera or not. So I want to try to utilize some of this space for storage. I'm probably going to build just a little skinny soffit up here that I can access to store stuff. How much legroom does one person really need? I could probably build a box in here as well. But the other thing I want to do is I want to make it look cool. So, like this dashboard is pretty shot. I'm thinking about trying to maybe create like a wood veneer to cover the dashboard and all this stuff. And this ugly gray plastic, I'm going to try and make it look cool too while I'm at it. So, I want the whole truck to look cool, With a more concrete plan in place and the truck all stripped down to a blank canvas, it's just about time to start building. But since I work in reclaimed, first I need to gather my materials. My friend Brian, who is also an incredible musician, flips houses by day with Fernando and his son Nick. When I started, I used to take everything because it's like you said, everything gets used, but then it gets to this point. Just like you can't use it all, you got to get rid of it. Yeah. I have a whole attic full of just crap I'm never going to use.
I got a whole shed. And then you forget what you have.
Yeah, and so now it's I'm not really saving it. If it's just my son has to throw it away when I'm dead. He had some hollow-core doors for me to take from his latest project, and this is a great way to get free materials, save a friend the money it costs for them to throw them away, and keep stuff out of the landfill all at the same time. And as a bonus, while I was there, I scored a piece of Corian countertop to do a future guitar build that I've always wanted to do. So thanks, Brian, I appreciate it. I filmed this a few weeks ago, and these handshakes might be the last handshakes I made pre-COVID-19 pandemic. Before I even bought the truck, I saw these great clean pallets on the side of the road and managed to get 2 truckloads back to my workshop, over 100 of them, before someone else snagged the rest. They're real thin, clean, and easy to dismantle, making them perfect for the interior work in my truck. But you'll have to tune in to future episodes to see what I do with them and to see what happens next. Thanks for watching and be good.